Hey guys, I'm Brandon McReynolds. This is the Clear 28 podcast, Proven, Driven, Born to Perform. Today we sit down with my good friend, John Lewensten, who happens to also be Chief Growth Officer here at Clear 28 Agency. John, obviously really appreciate you, first and foremost, coming over to Clear 28 and joining our team. Chief Growth Officer here working with myself and Todd and Briar and Kaylee and our entire team. It's been a lot of fun, but man, most importantly, and as bad as this sounds, because you and I we've spent a lot of time together, but at the same time, we're always on the go. We're always working nonstop, and just trying to get time to catch up. And man, out of respect to you, it's like, man, we need to have John on this podcast. Our slogan, as you know, and our brand is Proven, Driven, Born to Perform, and your history in the sport is something that I don't take lightly. Talk me through what was day one like, and like, how did you wind up in Charlotte, North Carolina, working in the sport? I know you spent, a lot of your time over at Viking Motorsports, which was really important to your career and your time with Jimmie and Mr. H and Chad Canals and all that. But walk me through how you wound up here in North Carolina. What was day one like, and just some of your background for our audience.
Born and raised in Minnesota, as you know, very proud of that.
Yeah.
Started working, graduated from college, had a couple different internships with a couple sizable advertising agencies in the Twin Cities area. Fallon was one of them, and then Carmichael Lynch. From there, I got involved in kind of the PR side of things.
Yeah.
At one of my agencies, I ended up working with Great Clips and with Target.
Oh, wow.
And so if you know long enough, which I know you know long enough, that was Chip Ganassi and Christian Elder.
Yeah.
Dear friend that unfortunately is no longer here. But I started working with those two companies, just leveraging what NASCAR is. I knew nothing about NASCAR when I was working.
So you didn't grow up like watching it as a kid?
Stick and ball guy through and through.
Yeah.
Nothing.
Yeah.
But I love sports. I love teams. I love working with folks and kind of striving for a goal.
Yeah.
So I'd always wanted to work in some way, shape, or form in professional sports, but I just didn't know how that was going to happen or what was going to happen. And so through working with Great Clips, and I think that was at Tunheim. That's going way back.
Yeah.
Back in the day. But through working through them, I had experience with going to the track. Worked with Christian, worked with Jason Leffler.
Oh, yeah.
Worked with Sterling Marlin. And that's kind of where I started cutting my teeth.
Yeah.
No idea, didn't know what a racetrack was. Man, if you could go back and look at me, I'm as green can be.
Mm-hmm.
And probably one of the funniest stories, and I've worked with Jimmie Johnson for a long time.
Right.
But the first time I met Jimmie was at the 2002 Daytona 500. First, I had flown in, I'd been to Talladega, I'd been to a few other tracks, but first time I had been to Daytona. And we set this up, I had never met him before. And so I go and meet him at his motor coach, and his dad still tells this story to this very day. I was like, met Gary, met Jimmie, and I was like, hey man, do you guys know where the media center is? And they look at me and like, this is the guy we just hired to help us out.
You're supposed to be taking them there.
I'm supposed to be showing. Yeah. And then, funny enough, that was Jimmie's rookie year.
Mm-hmm.
And
with Lowe's and all that on the car?
Yes.
Yeah.
Fast forward 6 hours, and he just won the pole for the Daytona 500.
Oh, yeah. I forgot about that. First year.
First time at the track.
Yeah.
First, I had no idea where the media center is, and all of a sudden, wham.
Yeah. That's wild.
He tears it, puts it up there. And I was so oblivious to what was happening around me. Because again, I didn't grow up in the sport.
Yeah.
I had no idea what that meant.
You're like, oh, cool.
It was cool. Yeah. And so we're in victory lane when you win the pole,
yeah.
Everybody pushes, you do the photos. Brand new team. Half the guys didn't even work he ran 3 races in 2001 just to get warmed up.
That's right.
They weren't even on that team.
So your first year at Hendrick working with Jimmie was 2002.
2002. I started, my first day was the Daytona 500 at Speed Weeks.
Man, you're like It's pretty good run, right? Like you were there at the very beginning and kicked off with a bunch of success. I mean, I guess, one thing that always comes up, and you get this a lot, is especially us working, with drivers and with brands, a lot of people will reach out and we hear it all the time. Sometimes these questions come from folks just trying to get into the industry. Like, what's your advice to, and we'll jump into the HMS stuff more, but in general, like as people are trying to navigate not having a racing background, not being from here, what's your advice to folks that are trying to get involved in marketing, PR, content, account management as a whole, driver representation? Like if you don't have that, because I was spoiled, right? I grew up in this sport, dad being in it. I was very fortunate that there weren't a lot of people in the garage area that I didn't have exposure to, right? So what would your advice be to young, up-and-coming, folks that are trying to get involved in the industry? What would your advice be to them?
I think you and I have kind of talked about this. There's no secret sauce to this.
Yeah.
Hard work.
Yeah.
And there's a lot to be said about being at the right place at the right time.
Yeah.
But when you have to create that right moment for you, and the only way you do that is just working and getting involved and volunteering, and like you can't hustle enough. If this is what you want to do, you can't hustle enough. And that's it. And you can't be too big for anything, and you can't, you just have to be willing. I mean, how many stories do you hear of, well, I just showed up. Yeah. I said I'll do anything, and they handed me a mop, and I mopped the floors for 3 weeks before they gave me my first chance to do this. Yep, it's what it is. Like whatever, volunteer, take an internship, unpaid. No one wants to take an unpaid internship, right? But that's experience. Yeah, and sometimes you learn more by being on a smaller team with more responsibility than you do being with a huge organization. Yeah, that's set, meaning you're wearing multiple hats. You're having to do so many things. And I think in doing that really helps you be able to see from various different angles of what it takes from a PR side, what it takes from a marketing side, what it takes, what responsibility a driver has, what responsibility a crew chief has, like all of those things, because then you're setting yourself up to be asking realistic things or putting together realistic programs or putting yourself in situations where you can succeed versus putting yourself into places that you're like, okay, this isn't going to work. And it reflects poorly on you and whatever partner you're trying to leverage, if it is a partner. Yeah. From there. So I'm just a big believer in you just can't do enough. Like you just have to grind.
Get involved.
You have to be there. You have to volunteer, and there's some great success stories that way.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah. So with that being said, obviously, back to Hendrick starting out in 2002, and I obviously remember, Jimmie and the 48 team. I'll say that because it takes everybody firing that program up, and it was like lightning in a bottle. What was that, I guess, as a whole? Because how long were you there? 20-something years?
I worked with Jimmie for 24 years, 24 years, something. I don't
Quite
know.
a while.
I stopped. I don't know, since 2002.
So what was, this might be a loaded question, but I think first off, what about the Hendrick culture do you feel like created success on or off the racetrack? Like what, if there's one thing, and I know there's certain things just out of respect to the organization you're not going to share, but like if there's one thing that they do a really nice job of as an organization, what stands out about their culture, about the way they treat their people, like I guess just as a whole, what made it all click?
Yeah, and forgive me as I kind of weave this way. Culture is what came to mind, and I know that's a blanket statement, but to me, when I say culture, it's culture of accountability. It's culture of expectations. It's culture of you come to work or go to the track every day not wanting to let that person down that's next to you or across from you or back at the shop that just spent X amount of hours putting this bad boy together and ready to hit the racetrack. Like the expectation of excellence is created through all those little components of culture.
Yeah.
And that's the thing that it stood out, and it stands out to me when you listen to folks talk about Mr. Hendrick, who's, I didn't get a chance to spend enough time with him when I was there, but he, like you hear of people talk about like, oh, I'd run through a brick wall for that person. Like, it's true over there.
Yeah.
I mean, how many people do you talk to that have been at Hendrick Motorsports for 20 plus years?
A lot.
How many people leave Hendrick and then go back to Hendrick because they know that it's an organization that they want to be part of and they want to work for? Is it always easy? Heck no.
Right.
Is it always, and sometimes that expectation is really, really hard, but that is the expectation.
Yeah.
The expectation is excellence. I use the word excellence. I know maybe they wouldn't, but I look at it and I'm like, okay,
that's what it felt like.
We expect every week we're going to be the best, whether we're the best on the racetrack, whether we're the best delivering programs for our partners, ROI, best pit crews, best resources for all of our people, and we care about our people.
Yeah, it's interesting that, like, growing up in racing, and I think in general, our industry can be bad about assuming that money fixes everything, or like a team's running good because they have a lot of money or they have a lot of resources. And it's like, I think that gets lost a lot of times unless you're exposed to it, like that feeling of working towards excellence and maintaining a standard. And it's easy to talk about, but it's hard to actually like implement and put into motion. And obviously it starts at the top with Mr. H and then follows all the way through. It's pretty, just as a fan of the sport, I can say this, it's something I have a lot of respect for. And it's interesting hearing your perspective over that because you saw it for such a long period of time. And 7 championships, that's incredible. Probably will never be done ever again, I don't personally think. But at the same time, also, it's hard work, right? There's not every day is rainbows and butterflies, right? Like there's still those challenging days and challenging times when things aren't going right, and you got to have the right people and chemistry and culture to pull through that. As far as Jimmie specifically, you talk about Mr. H, you talk about the culture of the building and the organization. What were some of the better times that stand out to you working with Jimmie Johnson? And well, I guess I'll back up from that. What was Jimmie like day one? Was he ever nervous? Was it too much for him to ever handle? I mean, you guys have this huge partner with Lowe's. You're at a huge organization, Hendrick Motorsports, that's known for winning a lot of races and championships. Like, was it ever too much for him, or has he always been, in my mind, Jimmie Johnson, California cool, collected, focused, determined, and just staying in his own lane and handling his business? Has it been that way since 2002 at the very beginning?
Short answer is yes.
I know that was a lot. But
no, short answer is yes.
Yeah.
Was it? I don't want to speak for him.
Sure.
Was it ever too much? I think it got to be a lot.
Yeah.
At moments, at times. I always think one of his greatest qualities is, in my eyes, is that he can separate himself from the moment and focus.
Yeah.
And unlike anybody else.
Yeah.
And with all the craziness that was going on, with all the directions you're being pulled, just all of that, to still get in that vehicle and perform the way he did. And hopefully people go back. Like, I was living it in the moment, so I don't even.
Yeah.
When you live in the moment, you don't even think about that. It's not.
Sure.
It's not how many wins. It's not all that. It's okay. What's next week?
Yeah.
What's next week?
Yeah.
What are we doing next week? What do we have? Like it was always. We're on to the next thing.
Yeah.
We're on to the next thing. This isn't. That was yesterday. What do we got going on?
Yeah.
And so, for me, that was a Jimmie thing. So hopefully I answer your question, but that's what it got in there, and I learned a lot from him from the standpoint of there's never the super, super high. There's never the super, super low. It was just always, you said California cool. So it was always, he always kept himself in a in an area where he never was going to let the situation get bigger than it needed to be.
Yeah.
Because he would always focus on where and settle back. Now, I don't think that was easy work.
Sure.
I think it was very challenging. But one other thing I think we had an advantage of, or Jimmie really had an advantage of, is Jeff.
Yeah.
Gordon was there. So Gordon was vested in the program, and I give him a lot of credit from the standpoint is he was very unselfish along the way. Like he would, man, I spent a lot of time with Bob Brandon in the beginning. I spent a lot of time with John Bigford, who's amazing and taught me a lot. And the system, like they had a system that was put in place on how you handle this, how you do this, how you
anything,
lay out.
Right?
Anything that was there, they kind of had a system, and they had gone through it. I mean, obviously Jeff had experienced so many things throughout his career, so this is the way the schedule is. This is the way, if it's not approved by here, you don't add it. If it's not approved, like, it just...
Everything's
it
calculated.
Was there.
Yeah.
And so there wasn't a lot of curveballs thrown at you when you were going to the track. Like,
you always had a plan.
You always had a plan, and you always, rarely were you deviating from that plan.
Yeah.
And I think you talk about it, we talk about it. There is systems in place, and there's planning that takes place, and you just try to stick with it. And when it becomes routine, then then good things start to happen.
And that probably, I'm assuming that if that's the standard, right, it helps across the board from the people that are the mechanics on the car, starting with, Mr. H, Jeff, as you mentioned, Jimmie driving the car, obviously Chad, very structured, know that. Him and Dad have been friends for a long time. I know you worked with him for a long time. Obviously have a lot of respect for his attention to detail in that aspect. And it's almost like everyone on the race team knew where the bar was set, right? So it just kept everyone, I've heard this saying a few times, like kept everyone pointed at the tip of the arrow and just in line with what the goals are and not letting anything dull the arrow, right? Keeping it sharp.
Chad never let anyone rest.
Yeah.
And I don't mean that in a bad way.
Sure.
He set that expectation, and you, again, not in a bad way, you would win a race.
Yeah.
He would celebrate. He was excited. And then the expectation was, all right, we're going to win 2.
Yeah.
2 in a row.
Yeah.
Why not?
Going for it.
Winning 3 in a row.
Yeah.
Why can't we win 4? And so the expectation was there. And I think you have to have a visionary that pushes you that way.
Yeah.
And he pushes and has expectations. And again, we go back to what is the expectation when you get to Hendrick Motorsports? What is the expectation when you walk on the 48 hauler? What is the expectation when you walk out and push that car out to pit road? The expectation is that you'll lead every lap.
Yeah.
and
stop them.
You'll lead every lap.
Yeah.
You'll go ahead. And that, I think it's good. It's intense.
Yeah.
It is intense to have that.
So out of all the championships and knowing that the focus was on the task at hand and that kind of focus forward mindset, for you personally, what was one of the best memories that you had during your time at, specifically, because I know you went and worked, for Jimmie directly.
Yep.
But during your time at HMS, what was probably your best memory there or best accomplishment while you're there as a team? There's so many, you probably can't keep track because you guys won so much.
I know, that's great. I just look at, I look at the friendships and like, I'm a football fan. I know you're a football fan. You talk about these like head coaching trees that go this way and that way. And I go back to, man, look at the tree that Knaus has. Like, look at the team, the folks that were on that 48 and where they are now. I didn't have anything to do with it, but I take a lot of pride in
it's still a part of it.
Like, they just did Danny Emmerich, his engine tuner that I think he was the original engine tuner on the 48 in 2002.
Oh, okay.
So I'm tight with Danny.
Yeah.
And I saw Hendrick did a post on LinkedIn. That's a plug for you guys.
Yeah, no kidding.
They did a post on LinkedIn that was Danny's 30 years.
Oh, dang.
30 years. And I was like, man, I don't know Danny. It's Big Steam.
Yeah.
I mean, come on. That's Big Steam.
That's
you know?
awesome.
That's all those nicknames. And so I think those friendships and those things like that, I'm walking around and Darian's floating around. I know you know him.
Oh,
from
yeah.
Track
Darian's
House.
awesome.
I mean, when we were at Legacy, it's just you, all of a sudden you have all these people that you know from over. So I don't get so much into like, yes, the wins are amazing.
Sure.
Yes, this was a fantastic. But I just like the people you know and you meet and the programs that you develop. I was going to go totally different than Hendrick. And
Yeah.
when we made the switch to IndyCar, that was some of the most rewarding times for me personally.
Well, and I guess on that topic, because I was going to ask you about
Sorry,
that.
I'm
It's perfect. Good transition. Walk me through that, right? Because I think, and not to go off on a tangent, I say this out of respect to Jimmie, because man, he's, for me growing up racing, like, man, what a role model, right?
Mm-hmm.
And even just as a human being, just great guy. And you know, know his family really well, know both of his brothers really well, his mom and dad. You know, what I'm getting at is, for a guy that had done so much, and I know you've probably been asked this a million times, but it's like, what more is there to accomplish? Like, why IndyCar after NASCAR? Was it a business move? Was it a Carvana thing? Was it, man, he's just got this next gear that a guy like myself doesn't have? Like, why go full-time IndyCar racing?
Why not?
Yeah.
That's what basically, why not?
Yeah, that's
He
a good
had
answer.
always wanted to do open wheel. That's what he grew up thinking he would be running, the
Yeah.
Indy 500. And so he kind of, I mean, it was a reality check to him. Those were those were some of the best years from the standpoint of like, we were doing it together, and like we had a great group of folks that were IndyCar racing with us.
And y'all put it all together too, right? Like you don't just go, okay, I'm just going to go drive this IndyCar. It takes a lot on the business marketing side to put it all together.
During COVID.
Yeah.
I mean, he decided he was retiring
Yeah.
from during COVID.
Yeah.
And then to go out and essentially find a partner and fund a team to go IndyCar racing with arguably one of the best teams in Ganassi.
Yeah.
That's over there. That it was a vision. It was something that it took a lot of work, and it took all of kind of who Jimmie was, from a 7-time championship, from a role model, from all of that. Like, there's some convincing to do, even when you are those things.
Yeah.
You know, people have to take a leap of faith, and fortunately, you know, Jimmie being Jimmie had some connections, and they got us on a Zoom call with Carvana. It was 2 Zoom calls.
Wow.
Ernie and Ryan were amazing. Ernie Garcia, the third, is the CEO. Ryan Keating is the chief brand officer.
Okay.
And I give them a ton of credit. They had a vision. They were passionate about it.
Dang.
And they jumped on it, and we literally had probably a couple hours, 2, 3, 4 hours with them, and they bought in. I mean, they were like, let's do this. They're storytellers, which is amazing.
Yeah.
And
We need more of that.
Yeah. And so they believed it, they funded it, they went ahead and they created content around it. And I know you and I talk about this all the time. Like, it's challenging just to put it on the car. Like,
Yeah.
you've got to build some things.
Got to tell the
around
story.
it. Yeah. And so they did that. And for the 2 years we were over there, I'm really proud of those 2. And as you know, it's not easy finding that. So when you can capture that and get people to believe and execute. But I enjoyed those 2 years.
What was the biggest difference? Which, you know me, I'm NASCAR through and through,
Yeah.
right? So, that's my background. It's all I know. You know, we've dabbled some in the IndyCar space, and through an introduction actually that you and Jimmie made, and Amy a few years ago with Marcus Erickson, and that was a lot of fun. What a cool guy.
Yeah.
Just it just was a space that, you know, I think to really own, from a management standpoint or an agency standpoint, you really got to be boots on the ground and get involved.
Yep.
Like anything, you can't be half toe in the water, but it was something that we definitely learned from, and a great connection. So very thankful to the three of y'all for that. I consider Marcus a friend now that I never had before.
Yep.
So, but my question is what are the biggest things that stand out, going from NASCAR, stock car racing to IndyCar open wheel? Is it schedule? Is it the people? Is it very similar as far as, going back to culture? Like what stands out? Is it more laid back? Is it more uptight? Because I honestly, I just don't know.
I think it's more laid back.
Yeah.
Their schedule, and forgive me, I don't know where they're at now. Like, I don't know how many races,
Sure.
17, 18, whatever it is now. I know they've added a couple.
Yeah.
You weren't on the road every week. You weren't 38 out of 40.
Yeah.
And so there was a little bit of, you got a mental break in between to
Yeah.
kind of refocus and reset, and then come to the track. And I think that just carries. It's not a bad thing. I'm not like.
Yeah.
I'm not putting it as.
No, I know what
as a
you're saying.
bad thing, but it's a different kind of vibe and feel.
Yeah.
From that standpoint, it's all about the same. I mean, from the standpoint of. I felt like it was much more engineer dependent, but not. I mean, it's NASCAR is getting that way.
Oh, yeah.
Pretty quickly
With the new car.
But
Yeah.
that car is. When we were over there, it was much more interesting and engineering side of things. They have a strategist and they have a crew chief. The strategist calls the race, and the crew chief takes care of the vehicle.
Oh, gotcha.
So the strategist is never worried about like the car
actual car.
itself
Yeah.
and like tuning it and anything. The only thing he's focused on, or she is focused on, would be, all right, do we take 2 or 4? Do we short pit? Do we
That's
long
it.
pit? Do we, like, where is everybody else? And,
Huh.
and so there's a lot. To me, it almost seemed like they took the crew chief role and they divided it into 2, and you just had somebody worrying on the strategy, and you just had somebody worrying about the car and the people.
Huh.
I thought that was
That's
kind of a nice idea.
Yeah, it's different. Yeah.
It's
organized.
It is. I think those were my 2, and the drivers take care of themselves.
Yeah.
That was my one really funny thing. Like they showed up at meetings by themselves. They,
Oh, wow.
Not that. Yeah. They.
I can't even do that. I don't even know how to do that.
They would, and it was interesting because I was so used to knowing where folks were and what was going on, but it was like, nope, like they were up to a meeting at 8:15 in the morning and then getting themselves over there and then getting themselves, and it was like, whoa.
Pretty self-sufficient.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And for us, especially
It's
a while
different.
ago, that was a different component to me. A great component,
Yeah,
but
you're like,
it was a
"Thank
different
God."
component. Not that bad. He's going to see this thing. He's going to be like, what? And but at the end of the day, no, he was very self-sufficient. And all those guys. I mean, you look over and I mean, at one stage, you look over and you got Franchitti and Mario Andretti and Dixon and Johnson. I mean, and they're all just kind of sitting there talking, and then Chip rolls up, and then you've got. I mean, you're just. Those were, back when I was growing up. I mean, a lot of those names going through.
Heavy hitters.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Heavy.
So y'all do the IndyCar thing for a couple of years, and we won't go too far into it, but walk me through like what is day one like as you go from IndyCar and it's kind of a reset coming in, obviously Jimmie at the forefront of it, and you, Amy, you're going really head first into the legacy opportunity. And just, I think for everyone listening, that's really where, I'd always known of you. I think we'd seen each other in passing. Mm-hmm. But when, obviously us working with Noah, that's when we met up again, right? And we start diving into this whole petty GMS to legacy motor club, complete overhaul, so to speak. And, obviously I'm very thankful that we had that time. It's why we're sitting here talking, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
One thing leads to another. But I think in a positive note, like where in the world did that idea come from? And I know some of it, I'll be respectful of in saying that not everything can be shared, and I know that. But like, what was day one like? Were you like, yeah, let's go do this team thing? Or you're like, what in the world are we doing? Or I mean, that's a lot, right? What was day one like with that?
I think we weren't quite sure what was going to be the next kind of evolution of JJ. Like, what does he want to do? I mean, he can do a lot of things.
Yeah.
Or he doesn't have to do anything. Like, he had proven himself time and time again. Right. But that's one of his, I think one of his strengths is he just doesn't, he always has, like, he always wants that next challenge. He always wants, whether it's running a marathon, whether it's doing triathlons, he just always has to have some type of goal.
Sure.
And setting. So the opportunity presented itself to him, and for me, it was really interesting because that, even though I had worked, so I had really spent a lot of time just working straight with Jimmie. I'd never worked directly for Hendrick. Mm-hmm. That was my first time that I had worked with a team. Yeah, I knew how much the team is responsible for, right, but I didn't know how much the team is responsible for.
Well, especially because y'all went through a complete rebrand. You had turnover. Holy cow.
We had 3 cultures.
Coming up with a new strategy, like how to present the brand,
and we did it. I mean, we did it in 3 months.
Yeah. It happened quick.
It was, I think we walked in and I think we announced in Phoenix, and then, a few months, it was right there. We were neck deep and ready to go and digging in, and it was great. Amy was there. She had experience because she did work at Hendrick. Yeah. But again, it was eye opening. Kristen came over. Yeah. So we had some strong people that were there that really helped kind of shape what that initial look for Legacy was going to be, and trying to get it off the ground. And I think Eric was there, right?
Yeah, Eric was driving. He was in the 43, and Noah's in the 42.
And Noah hadn't been in the. He was a rookie, and
everything was new. Pretty much.
It was it, and so it was really eye opening in a lot of different levels, and it was a really big learning experience.
Yeah, no, for sure. And not to jump around because there's a lot with probably that time frame that some of that we'll leave it there. But when you and I met up, or catching up, having lunch, what was that? Probably a year and a half ago, maybe 2 years ago.
Probably.
Either way.
End of 04? And yeah, probably.
Yeah.
End of 04.
It all, to your point, it all blends
together.
As we were talking, we were in the middle of having conversations over growing our agency. And, you and I had worked together when Noah was at Legacy, you were at Legacy. We had the Wendy's partnership over there at the time. And it was like, man, I feel like we need some help over here at Clear 28. And first off, I'm very thankful that you would take a risk on us and coming over here and working with us and helping us understand a lot of the things that we've discussed on this show, right? Like looking back at your background and your time spent with Jimmie and Lowe's and HMS and the IndyCar, Carvana, Legacy, going through all that, and a complete overhaul of with the company and the race team. Right now, I guess just to educate others, it's like, the Viking Motorsports relationship is really important to our company, and we're really thankful for their partnership as we're doing marketing and social and all that for them. And really, you're leading that entire charge for our organization. I think something that comes to mind is those experiences that you've had have obviously helped us tremendously grow that partnership with Viking Motorsports. But I think talk to me, to listeners, about why Clear 28 and Viking Motorsports and what works about it, right? Like what's the mission for Viking in particular, and where do you see them going with now Parker and Retzlaff and Anthony Alfredo driving over there? Obviously, we're really an extension of them, and everything they do from marketing and sales and content. Just in your mind, where do you see Viking Motorsports going? Because I'll go back to, your past has really helped us lay out what we're doing in the current for them, and as we kind of build that runway out.
Yeah. I look at Viking and I'm like, holy cow.
Yeah.
I don't think people know how much they've accomplished in 18 months.
They didn't even have a logo.
19 months.
Yeah.
I mean, and I'll say this selfishly, like we've accomplished, and you guys did the logo before I even came.
I didn't do the logo. No, I didn't do a logo, but yeah.
But I mean, to know that they didn't exist, heading into the end of 2004.
Yeah. Really the start of last year.
Yeah. I mean, last year is their first full-time season. To know that they've grown a team, to know that they've added a second team, to know that, and I think, and I apologize, I'm pretty sure they are the highest ranking non-Cup affiliate team in all of O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Dang.
Like when you start taking the Gibbs and the Hendrick and
RCR.
You can argue JRM,
Yep.
and I view them as having affiliates, but again, I don't want to slight them because they're talk about the tip of the spear.
Oh yeah.
But I look at those things and I'm like, man, that's pretty darn impressive.
Yeah.
I mean, you've got Parker, I think he's 11th, 10th in points. 11th.
Yeah.
And you've got Anthony that, had some bad luck to get out of the chute because we opened it and there was a challenge in Daytona.
Right.
But, to know that he was like 16th, 17th, he's right there, and like that's pretty impressive.
Yeah, for sure.
And I give them a lot of credit from a competition standpoint that they're able to really take the partnership with RCR, really maximize that, and hit the ground running with it.
Yeah.
And it's showing on the track.
Oh, big time.
And they've made some great decisions. Drivers, I didn't know Parker and Anthony going into this season, but again, two great folks. And I think the other drivers in the past have helped set the table of like, okay, we're good. The expectation is not we're going to roll in and feel comfortable running 26. No, the expectation is we're going to go and we're going to compete and try to lead laps and try to compete for top 10s. And, we're knocking on the door for top 5s and almost winning. Parker Schutte almost won the race in Atlanta from there. So from that perspective, I look at it and I'm just impressed with what they're able to put out there. From our perspective, I look at it and start seeing it as the dominoes are starting to fall in place. Mm-hmm. Anybody who tells you can be super, super successful without having success on the racetrack, it's hard.
Yeah, sure.
You have to have foolproof programs. And I think hopefully people that listen to the podcast will understand, like, there's ingredients in everything that need to kind of hit. But once that hits, you have to be prepared.
Yeah, you got to have a plan.
You have to take advantage of those opportunities. And I think that's what we bring to the table is that structure, the ability to offer the communication side, the partnership side, the account management side, the social side. What am I forgetting? There's plenty.
Yeah, even the creative idea of, what was it, at Media Day, I think Anthony spinning Parker around in a circle. I don't know if that went viral, but it was pretty strong. I think I watched it probably 4 or 5 times, laughing my tail off, which I know there's some, there's marketing the partners, but even just bringing that fun to life with the social media and some of that is always helpful.
I think we've, and again, we've got a good team that cares.
Yeah.
And they're vested. And I think it goes back to our very beginning of the conversation when we talked about Mr. H, when we talk about Mr. Penske, when we talk about Coach Gibbs, when we talk about, like, what's the comment? Like, you say those names and you feel something.
Yeah.
And that's Don's creating, Don Sakic, the owner over there, is creating a location that people want to be at. People they want to be a part of Viking. And
Forged to race.
that's it.
Yeah, forged to win,
That's
forged
it.
to race. Yeah.
And so, I look at that and, we've certainly got a lot still to do.
Yeah.
And there's still a lot of growing, but just the excitement that's around. And I mean, you can kind of feel it knowing, shoot, we used to have to beg and plead for interviews, and now it's
People are reaching out.
yeah. People want to talk about Viking. They want to talk about how we're able to develop, why we're able to develop. Our partners are actually really, really vested and excited for what we're doing. I mean, between Vivia, between Big Rack Spirits, between Dude Wipes,
Yeah.
Funkaway, you can have those partners, but I think we've invested a lot of time and energy to make them true partnerships.
Not just stickers on a car. Yeah.
Activation components to it, and trying to work with folks to really kind of get them used to being in NASCAR. Like,
Yeah.
what is it to be in NASCAR? How do we take advantage of these partnerships? How do we meet other folks that we can learn from and potentially grow business? And those are the elements that I think we bring to the table.
Yeah.
And I'll kind of deter here, but when you and I were talking, I mean, one of the reasons that we talked is we got along working through Noah, and I always respected the way that you were realistic.
Yeah.
Like,
Thank
there's
you.
a lot of people
Yeah.
that
That's
there's a
my
lot of
dad
people-
and me. Yeah.
There's a lot of people that aren't realistic, or I'm going to say maybe a homer, or
Yeah.
that you're like, hey, call a spade a spade.
Yeah.
Like, if that situation isn't right, and if we did something wrong, I would apologize
just
or
own
say,
it.
hey,
Yeah.
like I'm there, and if you or somebody or whatever, you would own it.
Yeah.
And I think when you come from a place like that, it's much more realistic to know that every conversation that you're going to have comes from, okay, this person isn't BSing me. Like,
Yeah.
we can get to a common ground, or I'm going to respect much more what they're saying, because I don't think they're saying it just to take a position with somebody else. I think
Yeah.
they're saying it because they truly mean it.
No, thank you for that.
And it doesn't happen enough
That's for sure.
in our world.
Yeah.
So that's what made me interested in the opportunity here, and what you've been able, you and Todd and Jeff.
Yeah.
We don't mention Jeff enough.
Yeah, I
but,
know. Big Jeff.
Yeah. It's not easy.
Yeah.
Like, whoever tells you the agency world is easy, it's not.
Yeah.
I think I've said this to you 1,000 times. You're only as strong as your weakest client.
Yeah.
And if your weakest client is your highest paying client, you've got to work it. You can never relax.
Yeah.
And that's not a bad thing. That's expectations.
That's right.
We go back to our beginning.
Yeah.
Like, what is the expectation? The expectation is, if we're going to sign with you, you need to deliver for us.
That's right.
And we don't shy away from that. We
Yeah,
want to
that's
deliver.
that's the fun stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
That
coming up, and
accountability.
I think so. That's when, like, again, winning was great. Like, winning championships, yes, that's awesome. But I look at the programs that we put on, the
Yeah.
amount of value that we were able to drive for partners and clients, and we were joking about it, before you came down. And I mean, some of my favorite times are bringing people to the racetrack that have never been there before.
Yeah,
Again, I'm
seeing
a
the
stick and ball, like,
experience.
and just like walking them through and showing them what it takes to be a driver, what it takes to be a pit crew athlete, what it takes to set up these cars, what effort is put into it before that car even touches the
Yeah.
track. That to me is like the eyes get super big, and
Yeah.
almost everybody says, "I had no idea."
Yeah, the whole process.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think our sport, you can get so close.
Yeah.
Like, you truly can feel it. You truly can smell it.
Oh yeah,
You truly
the access is always there for sure.
Truly can be in the middle of it. So those are the elements there. And again, I look back at what I think each agency has a carve out, right? They kind of have something that they do really well, or they dabble in this or that. I think we bring a unique. We're strong in a couple of different areas, and I really think the driver side of things is an area that you guys have built up, and I think you're the only group that I know of. And again, you may cut this out.
Yeah, all good.
But you look at the driver we look at the driver as a 360.
Yeah,
it's not just about performance. It's not just about sponsorship, but to look at them and say, hey, we're gonna help you prepare. We're gonna help you be the best that you can be, and we're going to work you out physically.
Yeah.
We're going to help you mentally deal with all these things. Because just think of normal life.
It's a lot.
Multi-million-dollar sponsorships hang on you.
Yeah.
That's
you got to perform.
That's it.
Yeah.
And to deliver. Yeah. And so a lot of responsibilities, but our mix, I think is, I put it up against anybody.
Yeah.
And especially in this industry.
Yeah.
By far. I don't think it's out there. Maybe
it's not.
Argue. No,
it's not. I appreciate you saying that. And man, most importantly, and kind of back to the beginning of the show, it's you've done so much in the industry. It's as we all get caught up in the hustle of our sport and just the day-to-day grind. That doesn't get said enough. I shared this with you over the off season at our Christmas party, and a couple adult beverages in. I really appreciate what you do for our company and the standard that you bring here, the standard that you bring everything that you touch within Clear 28, specifically with Viking Motorsports, because I feel like through your entire journey in your entire career, those ups and downs, but a lot of really good ups, but also just being around, setting that expectation, that standard is paying off tremendously for the partnership that we have with Viking, and we couldn't do it without you. So that's why I wanted to talk to you, and I feel like there's so many people that, and especially here recently, that have been not hitting me up, but sending an email, or maybe they have a friend that works at a race team that's an engineer or a mechanic or a shop foreman, and they're trying to understand how to get into the marketing, management, public relations type role. And I'm like, man, I feel like folks need to hear from John. I'm like, you do such a nice job in all of those areas, and have done it at a really high level. So I
appreciate that.
Hold you in high regard and respect the hell out of you, and can't thank you for just spending some time filling in the gaps for me over your background. Good. So definitely thankful, and we'll have to do it again sometime.
I look forward to it.
Sweet.
I appreciate you not asking me to divulge too many secrets.
Hey, all good. We'll save those for episode 2. Yeah, thanks, man.
Thank you.
I appreciate it, buddy.
Take care.
Thank you.